I'm currently doing a PhD in risk governance and compliance. I have a certification in CISM, in AWS, risk, I'm in cybersecurity. And even with all that education, I still felt unworthy. Now I know why I spoke so fast, because I felt unworthy to take up space.
Hey, this is Coach Mo Fall. I am an ex-CEO, ex-COO, and about to lay out the soul-powered revolution. And you'll win in life by having your soul on fire. This is Grace. She's one of our awesome, awesome clients, and I am Coach Mo, and we're telling the story. Grace took a journey with us, and there was a fairly high dose of skepticism. And your mom had just died. You're an immigrant. You're feeling like you're dying inside. You see this Facebook ad of this cheery coach who says, bring your soul to work. And you're like,
yes.
What?
Yeah, I'm thinking she's selling something that is not possible. So even when I wrote my first letter to myself,
Yeah,
I thought, if you even reach this, it will be worth it. I didn't realize you would bypass it so far that any goal I had even put on paper was achieved that I didn't know I wanted to achieve. You see, that letter, I just wanted to feel confident because I didn't know what it was that was not making me feel confident.
yeah.
And I had lost 150 pounds. I had, I had, um, I had changed my wardrobe. Nothing was working. I superficially changed everything, but nothing was working.
Still inside, there's like this
Yes,
emptiness. There's this.
whole.
Mm,
Yeah,
You were not working when we first started working together.
I was. I was actually making way more money than I was. I was in consulting. I
Aha.
was working,
Okay.
but I had taken a shift back to project management. I had left because of this feeling. I thought, if I move to project management, will it help me feel better instead of being an engineer?
You downscaled yourself,
Yes, yes,
thinking that would make
that's
you happier, thinking you had too big
yes,
of a job. Maybe this is too much for me.
yes. I thought that was too much for me. I thought that was the reason. Then when I went and I even felt worse as a project manager. I
Yes.
learned so much, but I wasn't feeling happy. I didn't know if, I was wondering is it? Is it a job? I have kids. I think I wanted, I have it, but I'm not feeling that joy of life.
hmm Do you
Yeah.
do you know exactly when that started to get dim inside of you? Can you pinpoint that to anything, or is it just sort of
Yes, I
gradual?
can. I
Uh-huh.
can pinpoint it to um, in 2009. I went to work. I was working in a company. I was the way I am right now. I was all out, and everybody kept tapping my thing. No grace. And then I train someone, that person gets a promotion. I train someone, somebody get a promotion. Then I started thinking there's something wrong with me. So that is the time I started internalizing what
Yeah.
was happening.
Yeah.
But surely everybody is seeing this something with me. I have a blind spot that I am not aware of. So I started looking for that blind spot. I went into Reiki. I went into I did many spiritual. I started exploring other things to see what is it that will help me bring that soul out, bring that happiness back that I had when I first came here. All that hope I had, I wanted it back.
hmm And none of
Yeah.
it turned up the volume enough inside.
Oh, not at all. And I was just telling someone, my sister, I spent all that money to know that only I had gotten Coach Mo earlier, I would have gotten all the answers I was looking for.
hmm hmm So specifically, you booked a clarity call with my team.
Correct.
So you spoke
Correct.
to one of my coaches. She went into a diagnostic mode. What's going on? What's not working? Bump, bump, bump. Oh, you're feeling a little bit diminished inside. Oh, you're not at the level that you should be for your education, expertise, and experience. Oh, we can help you.
Correct.
Now, I know you had to make a decision.
I made that decision on the spot. It's the way she spoke to me.
Mm.
because I've been doing Reiki and Coach Miliana speaks like that, so it felt familiar.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh.
so it felt like this is a person who gets me. Let me give it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that that's a bit of a risky decision sometimes. A lot of our clients tell us, I just
Yes.
hoped you were right. I just hoped
Yes.
what was being said was what was going to happen.
Exactly.
And like you just discussed, I mean, you had been trying a lot of different things.
I had been, and I'd been using a lot of money, trying all these things and coming back to square one. I would use like $1,000 here, $2,000 here, just trying out things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you said, all right, I'm going to give this Coach Mo and her team a chance. What were some of the early things that you learned that helped you shift inside at the beginning of your journey with us? What was going on?
Coach Miliana, I was sick. Coach Miliana, I was supposed to meet with Coach Miliana, but I was so sick, but I took the Zoom call. She saw how I was throwing. She did a meditation with me and told me to get better. And she's going to she kept checking on me. And that said, wow, she cares about me. And then then after that, when we kept talking and telling her, oh no, I can't try that. She'll do a job trauma with me. And then she'll do my throat was so down in my stomach that it needed so many. Should on a one-on-one session, Coach Miliana would just do job trauma. And then suddenly my mind started working after those several Coach Miliana's job trauma meditations. Then light bulb. I did data analysis. I started doing courses. I started digging into the modules. And then I went back to code. If I would not get something, I'll go back to the first module. Then I got your books. I said, oh, most of these books I've read. Why is the power books? Then I said, no, because she's saying we read them, I'm going to read them again. Because I'd read them back in Kenya. Oh my goodness, it's like I'd never read those books again. I understood them differently
Yes.
after your coaching. It's
Yes.
like I'd never read those books despite the fact that I had read them like twice.
You read them here. You didn't read them in your whole being. They didn't come into your being. And I know your journey, Grace, also included being able to really articulate what you bring to the table professionally on paper in a resume, in public on a LinkedIn profile. I mean, this is facing the music, right? It's like seeing your awesomeness, acknowledging what you bring to the table. And not only that, then being able to talk about it and feel congruent. What did you learn about that?
I thought blind spots, but I have double, triple blind spots. Introduced to me has changed me, my sister, and lives. I'm reading those books and eating. I was hungry. It's like I had never eaten for a long time. And my soul was just so hungry. I didn't realize how much I needed. I didn't want it. I needed it. And then when I shared that information with my sister drank it. She talks about it like knows you. Like she's in Kenya. I'm influencing in Kenya. They're reading all this material and they're getting it and we're discussing it in a way that said, we used to read this material. It wasn't the same as when after coaching, the way we are discussing it, the way we are understanding the material, it's on a different level. We've even created a mastermind group where we are sharing our goals. We are correcting ourselves on like radical forgiveness was a game changer. Game changer. Then energy of money. Wow. I didn't know what I didn't know. It was a double didn't know.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know. How could I navigate without knowing?
Yeah.
It was all new information.
Yeah.
I will have organically met those books without you, because I would never have gone for radical forgiveness. How has that got to do with my career? But it has changed my personal life, my career, my friendships, everything, the way I relate to people, the way I communicate.
Yeah. I know that your communication, and we've done some additional work together, but your communication, the confidence you have, like anyone watching this, Grace, is thinking, come on, this woman didn't feel confident communicating. This woman shied away from her brilliance. So you have to take us back just a little bit. Give us the before snapshot and now the after snapshot. Before, when you were talking to your boss or your boss's boss, or even having the opportunity to be in that room, what was that like beforehand?
I didn't realize how much I was playing small. I used to be just happy to be given work. I was saying they can see that I'm able to be here in cybersecurity and I have this work. I never understood how my work impacted the mission, the vision. I used to think I'm too small to think like that, to think about impact, because I was thinking I'm just a number. I saw myself as a number. You see, I behaved like a number because I never saw the connection. So without seeing the connection, I can't behave any other way but just as a cog in the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, I mean, I know that you're talking to all sorts of higher ranks and bigger groups of people in your organization. What's that like now?
The old Grace does not know this new Grace. I am so different internally that I am two different people. The before and after, I am totally internally a different person.
And you're able
That's
to.
how I am in energy, in the way I present, in the way I talk. Now I know why I spoke so fast, because I felt unworthy to take up space. The unworthiness was so deep. So I spoke to spend as little time as possible speaking. But I didn't know I was doing that. Only in doing the work, it's like a revelation. It's a layer after layer after layer of revelation of who you are. That's why know thyself is the first rule. Because without knowing yourself, how can you navigate?
Yeah, no, you can't. So let's take a little bit of a step back. Grace, you're an immigrant. You have an education. You have experience. When you came to us, you were feeling down inside, like you just didn't have any light, that you didn't really matter. But on paper, tell us about
entry level.
Right. Tell us about yourself on paper. What's your education?
I'm currently doing a PhD in risk governance and compliance, and I have a certification in CISM, in AWS, risk, and I'm in cybersecurity. And even with all that education, I still felt unworthy.
You wanted to get one more certification.
I used to think I'll get another certification will give me the confidence I'm looking. That's why I kept educating myself, because I was educating myself to get more confidence.
Yes, right. And meanwhile, we didn't give you more education.
No.
We showed you who you are inside. We helped release the negative programming, the conditioning. Let's face it, being an immigrant in this country has its challenges. Being a Black woman in the corporate world has its challenges.
Right.
And your feeling of how you are and who you are in the world and at your work has to come with a great dose of authority, worthiness, expertise in order for you to really do your job.
Exactly. You see, and not even that, even though I have my own technical understanding, you have to communicate, because you have to get buy-in. So communication is key. With my throat chakra so closed, you can't communicate clearly, because you're only communicating in that smallness.
Yes.
Your reference point and your point of view and how you are It comes through in your communication. If you're communicating in your smallness, they can't help only see the smallness.
Right.
It's you who is broadcasting that. You're broadcasting a message and getting sad by your results. Yet that's the results, the only results you can get.
Yes. And as you were able to open up your voice, work energetically on freeing yourself up, now you're able to communicate how?
Not even that, not even communicate. I'm able to get ideas. I'm getting mental downloads. With clear communication, I get clear mental thinking.
Yes.
You see, if I'm communicating clearly, I'm also thinking clearly. So that means even my output, my work output is with clarity. More than you have to have congruence all through.
That is the secret formula, isn't it? What you
Yes.
learned in coming into our kick-ass workshop, the 12-week, and then you continued on advanced programs because you were like, keep me rolling, Mo. Keep me
Fresh
going.
air.
Everything is about being congruent on the inside. And when you're faced with obstacles in a new country, at a company that doesn't seem to value you, you're not getting the promotions, you're getting passed over, you've got all the knowledge, but something seems to be missing. So we open up your soul, we show you who you are, you begin to accept it.
Yes.
You begin to bring that in. We show you how to regulate your nervous system to decrease trauma, decrease the chronic stress, decrease the reactionary version of most women in corporate America are all busy being in stress mode. And that's obviously, as you know, one of our magic formulas is to help you decrease that chronic stress, decrease the blocks, decrease the programming that's no longer, that's not ever serving you, and to get into complete congruence with how smart you are, the contributions, being able to speak up, be an influencer. And what you just said to me was gold. Not only that, now I'm able to be actually smarter because my nervous system is now optimized.
Exactly. I didn't even know until I did the energy of money. I didn't realize how much I appreciated in my day.
Yeah.
And then I stayed. That book, you have to experience it. It's an experience. It's not a reading.
Yeah.
You experience the book.
Right. And some of the things that you're talking about in our workshop, we introduce you to a lot of processes. We have a formula to get you to understand your achievements, a process to help you get your resume going. You meet with a resume coach. The resume comes out world class. You meet with our LinkedIn coach. Your LinkedIn gets upgraded. You take all of these steps to realize how awesome you are and what you bring to the table and upgrade the inside, the outside, the inside, the outside, and you keep inside, outside. Now we have this curated reading list, and you dive in because you're an absolute world-class learner. You dive in, and everything that you read is integrating that whole inside out process. It's all integrating, taking you to the next level. You've got coaches who see your brilliance. You've got coaches who care about you, who are showing the mirror and sharing the way to then use that next layer of your brilliance and your influence and your ability to be successful at work. Talk to us about the level that you've now been able to influence at your role.
I've never even spoken to my boss before. I was able to have a conversation with my boss's boss, and he suggested that I make a presentation to the whole organization. That would never have happened to old Grace. One, synchronicity, the law of resonance. I understood the law of attraction. You have to resonate with something for it to come in experience. I wasn't resonating with bigness. I was only resonating with small. So I could only attract small things until you showed me how to myself to clean up all that stress, that toxic sludge that is in my body and releasing it. Then this law of attraction thing that I've been reading since I was a teenager starts making sense.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't, I mean, look, the law of attraction works 24/7. So when
Yes.
you have all this negativity coursing through you, again, not much of it is your fault. It comes through
Yes.
by experiences or people treating you poorly, or you believing that that person's smarter than you because they get the promotion, or all of these things that happen from our little girl life all the way up to getting educated, having our first few jobs. Just, you know, all women are treated with, a fair amount of irregularities, let's call it. Not to be said then, more irregularities as a Black woman, as an immigrant. You bring so much to the table, but there's people with their biases. There's people with their prejudices. There's people with their, oh, we don't know, Grace, you can just go over there and do your work. We're good. The number one thing that you learned about yourself along the process, what is that number one thing that you learned about yourself that was your biggest aha moment for you?
I didn't realize how much my culture was influencing me. Even though or even though I'm here in America, I come from a very patriarchal culture. So what is happening is that my view of respect is a submissive woman. So I was literally playing out my culture in corporate America. So
Yeah.
basically, my rules of life don't apply here. So I just clearly saw how much I've been replaying my childhood in America, which with different laws and norms of what confidence looks like, on what a woman looks like, on what a woman should, what a respectful or dignified woman should look like. Do you see how much you have to change to actually acclimate to? So you are using different mental rules, societal rules to make them work. It's like speaking French to English speaking people.
Yeah.
You don't communicate.
Yeah. Yeah. And so inside, the language was different. The
Hmm.
way that you thought you had to go about being in the world was different.
It's
And
different.
and look, with all due respect to every other country around, America still has females being subservient and not really having, equal standing in many situations. But you're saying in Kenya, it was a little bit deeper. And I
Exactly.
brought even more to the table of that feeling. And then back to
Exactly.
the law of attraction. It's a 24/7, always turned on. It's not turned off when we're feeling negative. It's turned on. So you're feeling less than, you're feeling that you need to be subservient. That's what you're attracting. And now you
Exactly.
know that.
Exactly. And mine was, it was a deep unworthiness because it was programmed from a kid, from the way I served the visitors, from who I served first, from
Yeah.
who I was so indoctrinated in the processes of being the subservient woman. You know what I mean?
And
So
you
now,
can't be that as a cybersecurity professional. You can't be subservient. You got to be, listen, folks, this is what we got to do to protect our company.
so internally, it was a fight. You see, I'm wondering what is good, what is bad. So what is happening is that you mentally know it, but in your heart, you are playing both sides.
Yes. Yes. I am so excited for who you are in the world now. I'm so excited to have worked with you. I'm so excited to continue to see you shine and be brighter and brighter and brighter in the world and make the biggest difference that you can in your field. And to have that PhD after your name is just going to be like the cherry on top. It's not necessary for you to be the bright shining star, but you go after it. You go after everything that you want and everything that you want to have in life. It is yours, shining star, Grace.
Thank you so much, Coach Mo, for who you are, for making such a difference in my life, in my daughter's life, I'm a different mother because of this work.
Oh, that means everything right there. That means everything. Thank you so much. Folks, again, Grace is one of our wonderful clients who took the time to do the work. She invested in herself, time, money. Yep, that's what it takes. She followed our proven formula. She followed our expert coaching team, and she showed up for herself. and now her life is better than she ever imagined. That is possible for you as well. Do not think this is too good to be true. It's too good not to be true. You are worth every single shiny brightness that you can come up with for who you are, how your family is going to value that, how your future self is going to love on that, and how your future companies and future coworkers are going to gain and benefit from you being a shiny star. Grace, thanks again for telling your story. It's mofall.com/talk to get started. Thanks again. Everything that women face in the corporate world, in life actually, can be counterattacked, counteropposed by a woman's powerful internal sense of being. And I call that your soul power. I want to help more women understand their soul power, and I want to create a soul-powered revolution. This is Coach Mo, mofall.com.